Extreme Temperatures in Los Angeles by Emily Fu. Climate change has been an issue for a long time now, and it has become increasingly worse over the years. The effects of climate change on a global scale are things like the increasing temperatures of the planet or the rising sea levels. But in a city like Los Angeles, the effects of climate change can be seen through droughts, wildfires, floods, or extreme heat waves. The temperatures in urban areas are especially hot because of the urban heat island effect. This is when a large amount of concrete and the lack of vegetation in some neighborhoods cause extremely high temperatures, especially during droughts or heat waves. And these heat waves can be very deadly for those who lack air conditioning, or they have to work outdoors, or they already had heat-related illnesses. And the mortality rate caused by overheating has increased. So many organizations have been working to reduce the temperatures and reduce the mortality rate from overheating. My stakeholders are all working towards climate mitigation and adaptation, as well as supporting those who are most vulnerable to the heat. But they all have different ways of going about it. And through the short, I will be explaining how, although my stakeholders' methods may differ, the Tree People, Los Angeles Regional Collaborative for Climate Action and Sustainability, also known as LARC, Climate Resolve, and Water Drop LA, they all wish to curb the effects of the heat island effect and support those who can't afford to keep themselves cool. One of the Tree People's main focus is to plant more native species for the community, since native plants and trees require less water than invasive species. And the purpose for planting more trees is to increase the tree canopy. Doing so will provide more shade, which prevents the sunlight from hitting the asphalt or concrete roads and houses. Instead, the trees will absorb the sunlight instead of the concrete, which would radiate the heat instead of reflecting it.
In certain neighborhoods that never got the trees, that never got the shade, that never got vegetation.
Okay, so now we're gonna do a quick little experiment. So now we've got, 123, 125. So 120 is on the pavement, 120 is on that sidewalk. But then if we go over here in the shade, that grass, 66. Yep. And then if we look at the building's about 66, 70 degrees too.
The building not only keeps people cooler over there, but the utility bills are much less than somebody who doesn't have shade.
The Tree People also want to improve and increase the water supply in Los Angeles, so they don't have to be as reliant on the imported water from the Colorado River. That imported water costs money to transport, and it becomes more expensive as the drought duration prolongs. So by building or replacing roads with that of permeable pavement, the rainwater won't just run off into some river, lake, or ocean. It will instead be absorbed by the soil. And that groundwater can replenish the aquifers in Los Angeles, or it can provide water for the roots of the plants and trees. Climate Resolve is another nonprofit organization who are working to lower the surface temperatures in the city. One of their projects is to install more high albedo surfaces within the city to increase the amount of sunlight reflected. And although Tree People's installation of trees is a more natural way of decreasing the temperatures, there are cases where we can't just remove people's homes and roads to make room for those trees. So Climate Resolve has collaborated with Habitat for Humanity of Greater Los Angeles and Grid Alternative to install cool roofs along with solar panels to low-income homeowners. These cool roofs are more effective in reflecting sunlight, and it gives these homeowners access to clean energy, which is not made by burning fossil fuels. And these homeowners can worry less about their energy bill. And along with the cool roofs, they have also been working to install more cool pavement, which absorbs less heat compared to regular asphalt pavement.
The City of Los Angeles is working to beat the heat. With help from Climate Resolve and LACI, the city is testing new paving materials that reflect sunlight, making LA cooler. LA has set a target to reduce heat in the city by 1.7 degrees by 2025 and 3 degrees by 2035. As of summer 2019, the City of Los Angeles has added 35,000 cool roofs, new cool streets, cool parking lots, and playgrounds. Together, we can help Angelenos become more resilient to climate change.
The next stakeholder, Waterdrop LA, although not directly helping to make Los Angeles more resilient to the heat, they are helping those that can't afford clean water. They regularly distribute clean water to the residents of Skid Row, which is located downtown and has the largest unhoused population in Los Angeles. The lack of vegetation in the area makes it hotter than the upper parts of Los Angeles, and the unhoused people don't have a place to keep cool in, nor do they have sufficient access to clean drinking water. There are water stations and water fountains that are provided, but it is not sufficient enough to supply everyone in Skid Row with water. And being able to stay hydrated is especially important in extremely hot weathers. So Waterdrop LA is alleviating that shortage, and not just in Skid Row, but across SoCal. Los Angeles Regional Collaborative for Climate Action and Sustainability, or LARC, is the link that makes it easier for nonprofit organizations to work with others with similar goals of helping the people of Los Angeles. And the LARC themselves are also conducting projects to make the quality of life better for those in Los Angeles. The LARC is a network of local governments, agencies, academic institutions, businesses, and nonprofit organizations. They facilitate and make it easier for these groups to collaborate. This network also makes it easier for the exchange of information, whether it's information being passed on to policymakers so that they are more informed when they make policies on reducing emissions and climate mitigations and such, or the other way around, where the local or regional authorities pass on information to the researchers so that they can conduct a research on a more targeted study. Many of the organizations I have mentioned before have a partnership or are collaborators in some project. One of LARC's social media campaign is called Los Angeles Extreme Heat Campaign, and it is aimed to warn the people of Los Angeles on how to keep themselves safe in extremely hot weather. You can find them on social media platforms like Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. And if you type in #HeatSafeLA, you can find a bunch of tips and advice on how to keep those who are vulnerable to heat-related illnesses safe. In addition to the social media campaign, they have also started a huge project that can't be done alone, and it is called a Greater Los Angeles Climate Action Framework. It consists of 5 parts focusing on public health, transportation, energy, water, and ocean and coast. This framework has multiple goals set in place for each of those 5 parts, and each goal has several strategies and courses of action they would need to take to accomplish that goal. Though they seem to be making too many goals to really focus on solving anything, they have many connections and collaborators to aid them in their massive project. And they are being funded by the California Strategic Growth Council, and the plan was developed with LA County Metro, so they're not doing it alone. All of the organizations I mentioned are not working alone either. Whether it's the Tree People, Climate Resolve, Waterdrop LA, or LARC, they all have collaborated with one or more of the countless other organizations or businesses who are working to make Los Angeles more resilient to climate change. These collaborations are common because they are all aware of the massive problem called climate change, and that no single organization can solve all the problems caused by it. It is not just the organizations that are working towards solving this problem. Ordinary people who volunteer are also helping the community by contributing to the manpower in organizations like Waterdrop LA or Tree People, whose organizations require a lot of hands to make Los Angeles a better place. And those who might not have time to volunteer but have donated to these organizations have also contributed greatly in that they are helping to pay for the expensive projects that are helping everyone. So if you want to help your community, and if you have money, then consider donating to a local nonprofit organization that is working towards climate mitigation. But if you have no money, but you have plenty of time, then consider volunteering. If you don't have time or money, then